We've got it in the sport mode as well, putting our best foot forward for the acceleration. Did pretty good over the train tracks. Gonna go slow for a second cable punch now. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're gonna be going over a 2022 Chevy Trailblazer RS. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Chevy here in Murray for giving me some time with this Trailblazer. Check out the inventory link below. Let's get right into it. So under the hood we have a turbocharged 1.3 liter 3-cylinder that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 26 around town and then 30 on the highway, with power outlets being 155 horsepower and then 174 pound-feet of torque, which is quite a bit from such an itty-bitty engine. Now let's go over the front end of the RS, and this thing looks so cool, especially in person. So I love the body lines here, and then we've got the LED accent light with the LED headlight right there. You see it's a projector bulb. I love this trim right here, kind of, you know, contrast to all of the black on this package. You know, it's got the Chevy bow tie that's also finished in black. We've got our RS logo right there, and then the fog light down there at the bottom. But yeah, it really does look like a mini Blazer, and I think this is my favorite version of the Trailblazer. This thing looks cool. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 25mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then going over the design on the wheels, you guys can see it looks like a bunch of swords pointing towards the Chevy bow tie. They're kind of like holding it up. Pretty aggressive. And then obviously you got the black on the wheels as well. And then you guys can see the shocks. Notice we got the plastic molding here around the fender flare area and then down along the side. Blacked out mirror, and the door handles are also blacked out. And the car's not very big, so like, there's the full side view. Here's our key fob, got the Chevy logo on the back. You've got the unlock, lock, remote start, and then the opening for the hatch, which is automated. And there we go. Now popping here to the rear, you guys will notice that, well, we've got the strap that I have to pull harder. That's where the spare tire lives its life. And now we got to get that back into place nicely. You guys can see that you actually can fold down the second row. So if you want more storage space, you can get that. Other than that, pretty simple. We'll press the button, close her up. Wait for it. Man, the camera's like brightness. Geez, there we go. Okay, now let's finish things up with the rear. So you guys can see you've got the really cool taillights. You guys know I'm a fan of the design with that. Got the RS badge, got the blacked out Trailblazer badge, and the Chevy bow tie. And notice, is that carbon fiber? And then the exhaust tips are massive, especially for how small this is. They look cool. We got the diffuser as well. Like, look at that rear end. That looks so sporty. I love it. Now going to the interior, you guys can see that it's kind of like soft touch right there where you're gonna rest your arm. And then we've got these cloth seats. I like the design with the seats and then the red stitching because that's kind of part of like the RS package. Popping in, out of the wind, out of the cold. You guys can see legroom's great. My hair's probably all over the place, but you know what? It is what it is. Now it's got the armrest right here, and you've got some nice soft touch there on it. And then in the center, so there actually is some like, you know, kind of like a mix between the cloth and then the leather, which is great. And then you've got the whole like charging station area here at the bottom. Let's head to the front. Now going over the door panel in the front, I love the trim right there. That looks so cool. Got the window controls right there. You got that for the rear hatch, Bose sound system. Here's the front seat, just as cool as the back seat. So again, the cloth trim says RS right there. And then again, you've got the leather trim on the outsides with the stitching that goes all over. And then you've got the adjustments right there. Pedals down below, that's the release for the hood. Light control, and notice the steering wheel is manually adjustable. And there's when we're looking for you. Pop in.
What is your Subaru?
So here's the steering wheel. Got nice leather at the top, and notice that we've got the blacked out trim at the bottom, so it kind of gives it a sportier feel. But then there's soft touch behind it, so it's not like all the way around. Perforated leather here on the side, so you get a really good grip. Love the look of the steering wheel. Got the Chevy bow tie in the center, heated steering wheel button, got the cruise control, got the voice commands, phone control, all that fun stuff. And then turn signal stock, we've got the windshield wiper stock, and that's all for the steering wheel. Got the center gauge cluster here, so notice we've got all the red accenting, got the RS right over there, and then the screen in the center, and then you can see that that's kind of like your sport mode with the flag, and then we can also put it into all-wheel drive, which is cool. And other than that, well, we've got some screens you can scroll through here with the center screen. Shows you fuel economy, vehicle information, you know, the normal stuff. Here's the center infotainment system. First off, response time with this infotainment system is great. The camera does not want to autofocus today for some reason. Aside from my camera being lazy, You can see trajectory lines with the camera. Resolution is fantastic with that. And then other than that, we've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You guys know I'm a fan of the infotainment system. Analog controls there at the bottom. And let's move on. Down below, we've got a single zone climate. No complaints because it's such a small vehicle. Heated seats for the front. Got some more charging areas with the wireless phone charger, and then I'm gonna move the shifter so you guys can see this better. So notice we've got our auto stop start, lane departure, stability control. That's for the sport mode, and then the all-wheel drive. And then we've got the shifter right here, but then also the different modes. It says RS on it. Nice stitching. Cup holders, more storage right here, center console. Very nice. And then notice the trim right there looks cool. And then notice here on the dash is nice, and then around the vent, really nice style cues. And then you've got the glove box right there. And then we have a full panoramic sunroof in such a tiny car. Love it. Controls the sunroof just right there. And let's go over the window sticker. Now here's the window sticker. Sorry about the glare, so it's probably gonna be hard to read things, but I'll at least go over everything so you guys can have a chance to freeze the frame and attempt to read everything on the window sticker. But anyways, total MSRP, $32,815. Wait for it, wait longer, and let's take her out, see how she drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. There's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors. The rest of the rear, these headrests are nice. Let's set off. We are setting off here in the Trailblazer RS. And first off, let's talk about road noise and ride quality. So from a ride quality perspective, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's actually pretty smooth. Going over bumps and everything doesn't upset it, so it does a good job from that perspective. Road noise, you can hear a little bit. Wind noise is pretty much non-existent. But you can hear a little bit with the tires. It's right where it needs to be though for the segment. That is not an issue whatsoever. And yeah, so far it's comfortable. The seat's pretty comfortable. Bolstering on it's nice. Kind of keeps you in place pretty well, but it's still wide enough. Like, I'm not even big enough to fill out these seats, and I'm about 190 pounds right now roughly. So yeah, pretty solid. So we've got it in the all-wheel drive mode. We've got it in the sport mode as well. Putting our best foot forward for the acceleration. Did pretty good over the train tracks. Gonna go slow for a second. Cable punch now. That 9-speed's pretty good. It's interesting with the shifts. They're not really like snappy like what you get with like the 10-speed that Chevy has. It's a little bit different. The transitions are a little bit kind of more, like, they're smooth, but they're not as snappy. But the acceleration's got, I mean, for being a 3-cylinder, this thing is, it's punchy. It gets up there and it actually moves compared to other vehicles in this segment. And that'll actually get, I cannot talk today. That'll actually get me into summing things up and giving the Chevy Trailblazer RS a score for today. So exterior wise, I think this thing looks so cool. It is just sporty and I love it. It looks like a mini Blazer. I'm a fan of the styling. Looks like a little Camaro SUV. Interior wise, I actually am a huge fan, right? Like, you've got nice materials for the touch points. Like, the steering wheel feels great, and obviously this is the main touch point in the interior, and it feels very nice. Like, I love this steering wheel. And then there's some nice stuff to look at as well. The seats are nice, they're comfortable. Overall, the interior in this is, again, for the segment especially, it's got a nice interior, and then it's got panoramic sunroof as well. I mean, what more could you ask for? It's got good safety tech on top of that. Driving experience, it's average for the segment. It's not any smoother, any quieter than other cars. It's right where it needs to be. And then from acceleration perspective, it is fantastic for the segment. Again, it's only got a 3-cylinder turbo, but I would rather have this turbo 3-cylinder than any of the naturally aspirated 4-cylinders in the segment, because all of those engines are just so sluggish, typically paired to a CVT automatic, and not fun whatsoever. This, you can actually have some fun with. Like, look, go into that corner, come out, right into the power. I mean, it's great, especially at elevation. So yeah, super solid. And that'll get me into giving my score. And again, this score is based off of this segment, not comparing it to other cars, because that's not fair, right? So within this segment, despite the pricing, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Now, the only thing that is preventing me from giving it a 10 out of 10 is it's pricey. $32,000 is quite a bit, but there is the Buick Encore GX which is this vehicle's sibling vehicle, I'd much rather have this over the Buick, like hands down. Even though the Buick has like the full leather seats, this just looks cooler, feels nicer. Everything about this I like a little bit better compared to the Buick. It feels more special. But yeah, that's the only thing pulling back is this. It's expensive for what it is, but again, I mean, it's an all-wheel drive little SUV thing, well, crossover, right? But yeah, it's really good overall. So that's all. Now let's get some things up for our video here on this Trailblazer RS. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Chevy here in Murray for giving me some time with the Blazer. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see you guys.